Hi guys, last time I showed you my delicious yum yum sauce. You know, that beautiful creamy delicious sauce that you get when you go out for teppanyaki or hibachi. So this time I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I make hibachi at home. Steak hibachi, very simple. You're going to love it. Today I'm going to be using a flank steak. So I chose this cut of beef because this is what I had in the fridge. So you can use top sirloin or ribeye. Now with the flank steak, it is lean but it's flavorful. And I'm going to cut against the grain when we're done. So that will give us really nice and tender meat. All right, so you can marinate the steak in soy sauce if you want to, but this time I'm just going to season with dry seasonings. So I have my olive oil there, and then I'm going to be adding my other seasonings. So there's some salt, some ginger powder. I'll add some garlic powder as well. And of course, you know, some onion powder. I'm going to be adding some onion powder. So if you have a steak seasoning that you like, you can always use it here. Okay. And I'm adding some black pepper. So we're just going to rub all of this into the steak, flip it over, and do the same thing on the other side. As I said, if you want to add some soy sauce and marinate it in that overnight, you can do that too, or even some hoisin sauce. All right. So rub all of that in, flip it over, do the same, and then we're gonna let this sit for about 45 minutes or even overnight if you prefer. Now when you go out for hibachi or teppanyaki dinner, the chefs really keep it very simple. And when it comes to Japanese cuisine, it's usually pretty simple. So sometimes they'll literally just use salt and pepper, or you know, they might use a little soy sauce instead of salt, but they keep it very simple. So if you're trying to go for that, then you don't need to use a lot of heavy steak seasoning on this. But of course, your kitchen, your rules, okay? So do what you prefer. Just make sure you season that steak even a little bit, all right? So of course, let this sit overnight, or you can let it sit for about 45 minutes before you cook it. However, we are going to be dealing with the fried rice. So I'm going to be cooking the eggs by themselves because of course, when you're doing teppanyaki, you have that huge wide table to do everything at the same time. But I'm just using one cast iron pan. So because of that, I'm going to cook the eggs in a little butter here and then set them aside to avoid overcooking. All right, so a little butter, and this is over medium high heat, and then we're just gonna add the eggs. When you go out, of course, there's that nice showmanship when it comes to eggs, but we're at home. I'm keeping it simple, so I just have my egg here beaten, and I'm just gonna scramble it really quickly. If you want to use multiple pans, that's fine, but with teppanyaki, it's just one surface, you just clean up, all right? So we clean that up, add some oil, and then I'm gonna go in with garlic and the ginger for this fried rice. This is optional, but I find that adding the garlic and the ginger just gives it even more flavor. So stir this around in the oil, allow it to soften, all right? And then once it's nice and fragrant, then we are gonna be adding our rice. And the rice, I cooked it overnight, so it is not it's not hot. All right, so adding the rice in there, and then we're just gonna stir it around, allow the oil to coat the rice, and get some of those little crispy edges. So just stir this around over medium high heat. Now, if you feel like you don't have enough oil in the pan, all you have to do is just move the rice away from the center of the skillet and just pour in a little oil and then continue to toss it. So keep stirring it around because you want the rice to slightly firm up. Okay, you don't want it to be the same regular texture as it was before. So just keep tossing it around, and then we're gonna add some vegetables. So I'm adding some mixed vegetables. This was frozen veg. I just thawed it out. Super affordable, really simple. Toss it around in there. And you know what? Every time I make fried rice, I make it slightly different. Whenever I go out for teppanyaki or hibachi, the rice is pretty simple. So we toss all of this together, and then we can add some other ingredients. So I will be adding a little bit of freshly ground pepper, and then I'm gonna go in with soy sauce after that. Now for soy sauce, everyone has their preference. Sometimes I like a really light fried rice, so not too much soy sauce. And then another time I love a lot of soy sauce with hoisin sauce. So I'm keeping it light this time, just because whenever I go out for hibachi, it's usually pretty light. They're not too heavy-handed on the soy sauce. So toss in as much soy sauce as you like, and just keep stirring things around to coat the rice. After that, we're gonna be adding the green onions or scallion and the eggs that we did before. At this point, you can give the rice a taste to see if you want to add some more soy sauce, but you are good to go. After you're done, you want to keep this either in the oven or covered somewhere so it can remain nice and warm, because we're going to need this same skillet to cook our steak and veggies. So we're using the same pan, guys. All I did was to scoop out all of the rice, and then I'm adding some more oil. You can add canola oil or a little canola oil and sesame oil. So sit your steak out of the fridge for about 30 minutes, and then you're just going to cook it on both sides to your liking. Some people like it medium, some want it well done. Cook it on both sides to your liking. When it comes to hibachi, sometimes I'll marinate the steak in soy sauce and hoisin sauce, among other things. When I don't, I just cook it in the pan and then I brush on some hoisin sauce. This is a preference. You don't have to do it, but I like the salty, slightly sweet taste of this, so I just brush it all over my steak and then let the steak rest. Set it aside, let it rest before you cut it, because if you cut it immediately, all the juices are going to run out. So let it rest and then prepare the veggies. If you find that the skillet had a lot of pieces of meat or burnt stuff, you can just wipe it out with a paper towel and get back to business. So we're going to cook the veggies. This is some minced garlic, and all we're going to do is add our carrot and zucchini and the broccoli and onions, and we're just going to stir this around over medium heat for about 4 minutes. So once the garlic gets fragrant, add those veggies, and you want to make sure the veggies aren't cut too small or too big, because remember, when it comes to hibachi, you want everything to cook pretty fast. All right, so saute these, and you can add some salt and pepper, or you can do what I did. I added some soy sauce. So I'm gonna go in with some freshly ground pepper here, guys. It's optional, but I do enjoy adding it. So saute these, make sure they are not soggy, so don't overcook them, but cook them to your desired crunchiness. All right, and then we'll add some soy sauce to give us that salt. If you don't want soy sauce, add some salt. So our veggies are done, and we have our steak. It's rested. The grain of the steak is running in this direction. So we're going to cut in this direction, the opposite. So that's going to make it a little more tender. So slice it into tiny pieces. If you want to do strips, that's fine. Okay. So cut it in long strips and then cut it again crosswise. All right. So I'm trying not to prick the steak because I don't want any juices to run out. So just cut it that way and then cut it across, and you've got your diced steak. I brush on some more hoisin sauce or soy sauce whenever I'm doing this, whichever I feel like. All right. And as far as doneness, you can cook it medium or medium well or well done, whatever you prefer. All right. You know who you're cooking for. So that's that. And we can put our hibachi plate together. So the rice has been kept warm, and we're just gonna pour it into this bowl. I just put a little hot water in there just to allow the rice to fall out easier when it's shaped. So we're just gonna put the rice in here. This is optional, but most times when I go out for hibachi, they serve up the rice like this. So we're just gonna put it in the bowl and then just press it to give it that cute little, circular shape. And then we will put it on the plate. Of course, this is optional, all right? So we'll just let that sit until we put the other stuff on the plate. So we have our steak and veggies ready. And of course the yum yum sauce, guys. Trust me, this was made overnight. So the flavor is so good. And the texture, it is just beautifully creamy. Look at that. So it's easy to put together your plate. So here we are, guys, our plate with veggies, steak, yum yum sauce, and the rice. That's it. It's simple, the yum yum sauce. Usually you dip your steak in that, or you can drizzle some over your fried rice, but it is so nice. You can do this on a Friday night or whichever night you want to. If you're not able to go out and you feel like having some hibachi, why not do it at home? So give this a try and let me know what you think. And I will leave the link in the description to the yum yum sauce video. See you next time.